Hello everyone, Vito back with another review. These are the Heretic playing cards from Lorenzo Gazziotti, aka Stockholm 17, is what his company is now known as. And you may recall last year I did a review on a prototype of Heretic. It was this one. Now we got the official ones. As you can see, this one says Heretic on the front, and there's also some writing, some words in some kind of gibberish. It does say Des or Omo on top, which I guess is God and Man, and Mater, Virgo or something. There's a 52, 32, and 2014 on there. Not sure what that represents exactly. And some other foreign writing. Actually, it's upside down. It's very hard to read though. It says playing cards on there as well. And I don't know if you can tell or not, but there is some light embossing on there. It's a little hard to see, especially in this light, but it is there for sure. You'll notice the seal is on the bottom. The seal actually says, really hard to read, it says Lux on there, which is what this one is, and the other one, it says Noctis. And this one you can see clearly, wow, lots of embossing, black foil, this and gold foil. This one just has a whole bunch of symbolism on it, symbols and stuff like that. It doesn't say anything. Onto the sides, nothing. Slide for some foil. Same idea at the top. It says Lux and Noctis. Light and night, basically, day and night. Bottom says the Expert Playing Card Company, New York, New York. Heretic Playing Cards by Lorenzo Gazziotti, printed in Taiwan by EPCC, New York, 2014. And it says this one is 2781 out of 4400 and 2036 out of 4100. For back, you see the back design of the cards. Pretty cool, and you get a lot of embossing and foil. And then you see the seal. The seal actually says a whole bunch of stuff on here, like Sator, Repo, Tenant, Opera, Rotas. No idea what most of it means. And there's a moon on there as well. And this one, the same thing, except it's harder to read. And it has a sun, representing day or light. This one, you might be wondering why the seal is down here. That's because that's where it opens. It's very interesting. And then this goes into there. Very cool, different, unique for sure. However, it doesn't necessarily hold as good as a regular flap would. That's just my one little criticism. Underneath the flap, you get the same thing. This one, you got a couple of symbols on there. And on this one, you get the sun and the moon. Nothing on the inside of this one, as you can see, it's just darkness. But this one, you got some kind of alchemist. I'm not sure who he is. He's probably somebody famous, so I'm not sure who. And it looks like he's got a bunch of ideas popping out of his brain, and he's thinking. And there's the phone. Right on time. These decks are pretty interesting because it's the only deck that I know that actually has 57 cards in it. Not 55, not 54, not 56, but 57. The first card you see is one of these special edition Gaff cards. It's got all sorts of symbolism on there. And it says Mia Predictio, which is obviously Latin for my prediction. And there's a blank space here, and what you're supposed to do is write down a prediction in there to use as a prediction card. The suggestion is to put 10 tape on there, clear tape, and write it on there so that you can pull it off and reuse it and change it whenever you want, and I think that's a good idea. I'm not sure what the symbolism represents, but it is what it is. Back design, pretty cool in a golden type color. Symbols on there, the moon, all sorts of stuff that I'm not highly familiar with. And you do also get another Gaffs card, which is a double backer. Then you get not two but 3 jokers in a stack. They say joker in the 2 corners. They have a symbol which I believe is a symbol for Mercury, but I'm not 100% sure. And this one is a guy in black. All sorts of symbolism in Latin words wrapped around him, and then it says Tabula Esmeralda at the bottom. The next one is a female one in red. Joker in the corners again, all sorts of symbols. At the bottom it says Flos Vita. And then the last one, this one was an additional one voted on by the people. And it's got a male and female symbol in there, looks like. It's holding some kind of a staff. You can see black body and a red skeleton, which is pretty cool. And it says Omnia Fert Fetes or something on the bottom. Kind of hard to read to make out what it says. That's one little criticism, is I don't really like the fonts they used on a lot of the cards because it's harder to read words that I don't even know what they mean. If it was clearer, it'd be a little bit better. Ace of Spades. Nice custom pip with symbolism throughout, and it says Heretic on the bottom. Also says Departic Secret Chiromant, whatever that means. At the top it says Lux, and it says the Expert Playing Card Company, West 30th Street, New York, because that was absolutely necessary to tell us their address. But it's pretty cool nonetheless. Here's the Ace of Hearts. You see there's a hand in the background. And it says Matex. It says Departic Secret Chiromant. It also says Mater Virgo on the bottom, something like that. Ace of Clubs. Very interesting. Again, and it has a almost club type symbol shape in the background. And it says Des Homo, which, like I said, is basically God and man. As long as I'm not reading it incorrectly. And then the Ace of Diamonds has a triangular symbol in the background. And it says Teneg Uneg or something. I don't even know how to read that, what it means. Then we get to the court cards. In this deck, it's very interesting that the jacks are actually women. The jacks also represent salt. They have the symbol for salt in them. They represent salt. The women, they represent salt, and salt also represents body. Kings represent Mercury. They have a symbol for Mercury, and they represent the spirit. And queens, which are also women, they have a symbol for sulfur in there, and they represent the soul. So that's pretty interesting. Body, spirit, soul, salt, sulfur. And you see these ones got hearts and diamonds, got a red background, clubs and spades, a black type background. Very interesting, detailed, beautiful artwork. Lots of symbols. Unfortunately, I don't know what most of it means. And it might be a little bit hard to make out some of the details in all the light. It's actually a little bit difficult to make out the pips because they match the background. Which is a little bit of a criticism. I think they say this made the pips, especially on the black court cards, stand out a little bit better, now that I think of it. Let's look at the numbered cards. They all have custom pip orientations. Spades have the hand with the Departic Secret Chiromant on the bottom. Hearts say the same thing, with a hand facing the opposite direction, or the opposite hand, if you will. Clubs, you get that symbol. And diamonds, you get that symbol. And you can see this strange pip layouts throughout. Circular ones, you get this for the 9s, this for the 10s. I think we had that already, or we will have it. It's very interesting. Cards printed by expert playing cards on a master finish, if I recall correctly. Oops, so they handle pretty good. Another thing you'll notice is the cards have a dirty look on the faces. But they handle nice, they look pretty good. A little bit stiff, they need to be worked in a little bit, it seems, as you can see. This is much better. But it's a nice finish. Just the stock is a little bit stiff for my liking. Let's look at the Noctis really quickly. And then you get this brown. They said they designed the box for 57 cards, but it looks like it fits 56 cards better. So some minor criticisms here and there with this deck, but minor, like I said. Whoops. This one you get different Gaff cards. You get this Ace of Hearts, which is a Gaff because it has a red pip instead of a blue pip in the center. The other side of that's exactly the same. The faces are the same as the other deck. You do get a double backer. It's the Noctis on one side, blue, and the Lux on the other side, which is good, with color change. You get 3 Jokers. These ones are different. This one says Sidera Zodiaci on the bottom, obviously Zodiac related, with Joker in the 2 corners and symbols everywhere. This one says Medium Coeli or something like that on the bottom. Very interesting, and it has like a ram in there in the background. And this one says Tabula Selenographica. And again, some kind of weird scale. The decks have a theme of Hermetics and Alchemy. Spade Pip, the Ace of Spades, same thing as the last deck. It says Heretic on the bottom and everything, except it says Noctis on top. There's some stars in there, and it has a dark black color, whereas the other one, it did not have the black, it was just a lighter color. Hearts and Diamonds have blue pips, which is where this color change one comes in handy. But you'll see overall the faces are the same. Originally this deck was going to have a much darker back design, a blackish color, but people felt it was too dark and they voted on this one instead, which I think is much better. You see all the details very nicely. It's a very nice color of blue. So you get the same court cards. Hearts and Diamonds have blue backgrounds instead of red backgrounds this time to match the indexes and the pips. And same with the number cards. So very interesting decks for sure. Handle good, they look pretty good. Overall, to rate them, as far as handling wise, I would give it perhaps a 4 out of 5 is definitely warranted. It handles good, very nice finish, and stock. It's just the stock. I like better whatever they use on Legends playing cards because it usually seems to be softer. I like something that's a little more flexible. This one, like I said, you really have to, you have to put a lot of effort into bending the cards. Makes it harder to shuffle and means you have to break them in a lot more. But that's just a minor complaint. If I was looking at style-wise, I would give it a 4 out of 5. It's very nicely done. There's minor things that could have been better, like for instance, making the pips stand out more from the backgrounds on the court cards and whatnot. But I mean, if everything fits the theme pretty good. Another minor criticism is a lot of the fonts for the writing could have been better to make the words clearer, especially since they're words that most people don't recognize because they're Latin and whatnot. As far as usability is concerned, I'll give it a 3 out of 5. It's not bad, but again, you don't have your standard court cards, and then you basically hide the pips in the background. It makes it harder to use, and then you got weird pip layouts on all the number cards and symbols and everything, so a little bit harder to use as far as magic and cards is concerned, but still usable, so 3 out of 5 for that. Overall, I'll give these decks a 4 out of 5. Pretty good, I like them, and they're not going to be printed again, so if you get your hands on them, if you want them, get your hands on them, and that's that. That is the Heretic playing cards. Stay tuned for more reviews. I'll see you next time.